Hi everyone, my name is Phil and welcome to Phil Does 3D. I'm a multimedia and 3D artist and I stream live on Twitch on Mondays and Tuesdays at 5 PM Pacific time in the United States, which is midday if you're in Australia or 1 AM if you're in the UK. Remember though, if you miss the live streams, you can always watch the catch-up streams by clicking the videos section of my Twitch page. I hope you guys and girls are well. Mr. Squarepeg, hello to you. Sniper Girl, hello to you as well. Good to see you guys nice and early in chat. What are we doing? That's right. What are we talking about here? We're talking about the Half-Life news. Yes, that new VR game. New Half-Life VR game. Confirmed. Finally. And Sniper Girl, I read in the Discord that they've pushed back your start date from the 18th to the 25th, I think it was. That's okay, these things happen. Tamana, I want to thank you for the 29-month subscription. You are absolutely awesome. So thank you, Tamana, for subbing for 29 months. I believe you're my longest sub. Thanks, Tamana. I'm doing really well, thanks, Sniper Girl. Thanks for asking. As Mr. Squarepeg says, I'm so excited for that. Sniper Girl says, yep, the 25th, relaxing a bit while I can. Well, it's a good thing. It is a good thing. That you got a little bit more time to chill and relax and get everything organised and ready for the move. But yes, the new Half-Life game, I'm looking forward to that as well. I like the Half-Life games. Well, Half-Life 2 was really good, but that was how many years ago now? Decades ago now? But unfortunately, I probably won't be playing it if it's a VR game because I don't like VR too much, simply because I find that wearing that thing on my face is uncomfortable. Makes my head hot. That's why I don't wear earphones when I'm streaming, because my ears get hot. I just got one of those, I'm one of those people that has a hot head. So I can't wear the VR goggles because they're too uncomfortable. I've tried, but they're too uncomfortable. I hope it's not only VR too, but I've only heard VR. Mr. Squarepeg says 12 years ago. Wow, there you go. More than a decade ago since we've had a Half-Life game. It's because Valve are raking the cash in with Steam. They don't need to make games anymore. They just, take a cut of everyone else's game. Oh well. Why not? They were the first to do it. Yes, as always, guys and girls, remember, if you've got any questions while I'm working, please feel free to pop into chat and ask me. If I can help you in any way, I'm happy to try. If you just want to pop in like these guys and girls and say hello, that is always welcome. But if all you want to do is watch, that is completely fine. Sniper Girl says, yeah, forgot they even made games these days. I know, didn't we all? When was the last time Valve released a game? 12 years ago. But, I mean, that company, they must be making a fortune. Steam, the cut that they take from Steam, which is like 30%, on every game released, on every sale they make. You can work it out. They must be raking the cash in. Epic Games are giving them a run for their money, I guess. I guess. The Steam client is still much better than the Epic Games client, though. Give them time. Give Epic time. Sniper Girl says an actual game 12 years ago, maybe. I mean, they made card and board games with their IPs. Oh, yeah, but no one plays those. Actually, I've never played one of the card games. I know that the one based on, was it World of Warcraft, that card game? That was pretty popular. Those don't count though. No, they don't count, Sniper Girl, because I don't play them. Oh, look, I know a lot of people like them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't play them. I'm just saying I don't play them. We are going to continue working on our House in the Hollow game that I'm making with the game studio to be released on Steam. Speaking of Steam, the game is due to be released in October 2020, so for Halloween next year. Plenty of time for us to continue working on it. And you guys know me, it's going to take me that long. It's not just me working on it, it's other guys in the studio as well. So last week we were getting things ready for the bathroom, so we're going to continue doing that. Sniper Girl says, okay, last actual game they did was Dota 2, which was 2013. Okay. So within the last decade then, just. I haven't played Dota either. You guys know me, I don't play card games, I don't play multiplayer online games. I like single player story driven games. That's where I am as a gamer. Me, the Sniper Girl says. So, yes, we are going to, there's just, at the end of last week, we were working on the toilet roll, and I said, I'm not really happy with the texture I created for the back of it. But I think I will leave that texture. Look, I'm getting too precious about it. It's a toilet roll holder that's, for all intents and purposes, people aren't even going to look at in the game. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. But I do want to bring one other asset into Substance Painter that we can then bring into the bathroom. And that is just, it's going to be a glass shelf. So that's glass, and these are perfume bottles. So a glass shelf and a couple of perfume bottles just to fill up the wall a little bit. But I do want to take these pieces into Substance Painter, these brackets, just to texture them up. So I'm going to attach them together. They're already UV mapped. You don't have to worry about me doing it in Horizon. And then we'll take it into Substance Painter. So we're just going to call these brackets shelf brackets. I'm just wondering if I should take the whole lot in. I'm going to actually add a glass shader to that in Unreal, and they're going to be glass shaders as well. They're the only bit that'll be metal. I'll texture them separately in Substance, and then we'll assign a second material before we do a second export to bring it into Unreal. Sniper Girl says, I don't play games with loot boxes. Good. Don't play games with loot boxes. They're evil. Games companies should never have done that. Actually, I read one of the games is removing loot boxes. I think it's PUBG. I believe I read somewhere online this morning or yesterday that PUBG are going to remove loot boxes from the game, which is good. They should never have put them in. Let's export this shelf bracket. Just copy the name. We're going to put it in the bathroom. Glass shelf and perfume. Well, that's a good spot for it. Sniper Girl says, I have an addictive personality. Will waste too much money on loot boxes if they have. The reason I don't do mobile games, they're evil as well. Pay to play. Yeah, no, don't do pay to play, guys. Don't do it. Not worth it. Do not do it. Do not reward these companies with your money. And if you've got an addictive personality here like Sniper Girl, then make sure you avoid them, because it's all based on that gambling bug that people have, you know. I don't gamble, so I don't get it, but I know a lot of people have problem with gambling, and it feeds into that gratification gambling thing, these loot boxes and being rewarded by paying money. Don't do it. So let's jump into Substance Painter, create a new project. Select our brackets. I'm going to set it to 2K here, but I'm going to export the brackets at 512. I'm just doing it just so we have a nice high-res viewport to work with. I'm just going to rename this brackets. I'm just going to rename it shelf brackets, because just in case I've already got a texture in Unreal called brackets, which is a possibility. Let's bake out our mesh maps. I'm just going to remove the ambient occlusion because we don't use that. Okay, let's jump into our smart materials. I just want either a brassy or a goldy type effect for the bracket. I'm going to start though by throwing down, see what this aged metal looks like. The aged metal should work for what we want as an underlying layer. Sniper Girl says, well, that's an odd thing. I have a lot more control at an actual casino than I do with loot boxes. When I went to Halifax in Canada, when I was in the Navy, it sucked. Nothing really to do, so my group went to the casino and did okay. Loot boxes tend to not have nearly the same level of control. Well, yeah, it's still based on that whole gambling thingy. What it triggers in your brain is the same thing that gets triggered when you gamble. These loot boxes and buying them. It's not just that. It's wrong for a games company to offer people progression in a game based on how much money they spend. That's not what games are supposed to be about. I mean, everybody should be able to play a game on an equal level and not have an advantage because they want to spend money to buy loot boxes. You know what I mean? That's the other thing I have an issue with loot boxes. It's the fact that people can short circuit playing a game if they've got enough money or if they want to spend their money. That's not right. It's not what games are supposed to be about. Games are supposed to be for fun. It's not supposed to be about who has the most money to buy the most or wants to buy the most loot boxes to progress through the game. That's not playing a game. That's cheating it, really. At least in my opinion. But what do I know? Okay, let's throw another smart material on top of this one. Let's have a look at this one. Again, I'm not going to get too carried away here with these brackets because they're so tiny they're hardly going to be seen. But let's throw a smart mask on top of this so we can get an interesting blend going on. Canoe, it's good to see you, Canoe. How have you been? What you been up to? It is so good to see you, Canoe. I hope you're well. Are you still studying? You graduated, I believe. I think I remember you saying you graduated from your game study. But I hope you're doing well. I hope you're still doing 3D, Canoe, as well. I'll be very disappointed if you're not. But it's good to see you, Canoe. I hope you are well. Let's look at this Dirt Soft Edges Smart Mask. And play with that global balance a little bit. I'm just going to invert it, I think. I want a little bit more gold to be on top. Canoe says, yes, all good. I hope you're doing well as well. I am doing very well. Thank you for asking, Canoe. Yes, no, everything's good. Busy as usual. I'm still working for the ArchBiz studio, but I'm also working for a game studio at the moment, so I've got quite a bit going on. Yes, 3D is there for life. Good to hear. That is great to hear. 3D is life. And that's why we're all here. We all love the 3D. Just going to change the seed a little bit till I get a mix here that I quite like the look of. And that should do, because our brackets are very tiny at the very back of the shelf and they're hardly going to ever be seen. So let's save this as brackets. Shelf brackets. And let's export the texture. Getting confused with all my folders. Bathroom, chosen, glass shelf. And we're going to export it at 512, which is plenty. Okay, and just before I close Substance Painter down, I'm just going to jump back into Max. Just wait for Max to work itself out. It doesn't, whenever you jump between Substance Painter and 3D Studio Max, it always causes Max to have a bit of a fit. It's because they both use the same viewport. I think it's the DirectX viewport. Confuses it for a minute or two. Alrighty, let us have a look here. So that one. I'm going to bring in a new material. Just going to bring in the bitmap, just so when I import it into Unreal, it brings it in automatically for me. At least the color texture. I'll have to import the others. Models. Bathroom. Chosen. Glass shelf. And that's what I want. Make sure the brackets are selected and assign the material. Okay, so now I need, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to use the plain grey colour as the glass material that we'll switch to when we jump into UE4. So I'm just going to make sure that the shelf is assigned that texture. I also want to make sure that the perfume bottles are assigned just the plain glass texture. Now, we do have, with these perfume bottles, because they're going to be using a glass texture, they're going to look empty if I just assign glass to them. So what I've done is I've just inserted if I go into isolation mode, I've just inserted 2 rectangles that we're going to be texturing up as the actual liquid that's inside of them. We'll use a separate material for that, so I'm just going to make sure they're assigned that material. Select you, unhide, collapse my stack, and attach that to that. Let me just make sure I'm out of attach mode here. And then we want that liquid, I believe, yes. And let's attach that to the other bottle. And this one we're calling Perfume 2 bottle, not liquid. And this one could be Perfume 1 bottle, not liquid. Now I just want to attach these to the glass shelf itself. Bracket to the shelf, I mean. And we should be good. I'm going to keep the bottles separate so I can duplicate them and put them around the bathroom and other spots if I want to, instead of putting everything as one object. So let's export the glass shelf. Into our shelf folder. And let's export the perfume bottles. Oops. Okay, let's do a quick save. I'm actually going to close Substance Painter down now because I don't think we need to do anything more with Substance Painter today. We will again in the future, but maybe not today. I might leave Max open just in case I need to do something in Max. And we're going to jump straight into Substance Painter. Now this is the bathroom here. Empty bathroom. I did bring in the floor already, and the floor has a liquid water. I wanted the floor to have water because one of the features of the game is it will be ray traced enabled, so it'll have RTX. You will be able to turn RTX ray tracing on if you have an NVIDIA RTX graphics card. You don't need an RTX card to play the game. You can play it with RTX turned off. But one of the reasons I wanted water on the floor was because of the RTX. It gives really nice reflections. And one of the benefits of real-time ray tracing is reflections. It handles reflections really well. So that's the reason I have added water to the floor, which is actually inside the shader, the substance shader. It's not like a decal or anything. The water texture itself is actually, I created it in Substance Alchemist inside the shader. And it's a bathroom, so there'll be water on the floor, and the big pentagram is creepy, and I'm going to put the bathtub over the big pentagram. So that's what's going on here. I don't know if I can actually leave the bathroom because I'm not sure whether I'm allowed to actually show the rest of the level. It has changed quite a bit from when you guys saw me working on it last year when I was doing the cinematic. And it hasn't changed dramatically, but there is more been added to the exterior and the interior since you guys saw it. So, first things first, we're going to start bringing our models in, so let's import them. Whoops, I want to go to the bathroom. The bathtub is in. The wall lamps are not, so let's bring them in. We want the complete version. Okay. Let me just open that up and pull it over here so you guys can see it. And work out which one is which. Okay, so the material 18 is the glass interior. So let's rename that. Pillar, wall, lamp, glass. Actually, I just want to, I always underscore MAT at the end when I'm creating material. Just good organization, makes everything nice and neat. Which means this will be the pillar, wall, lamp, metal. I can't spell. Underscore mat. And I also underscore the meshes. So it'll be pillar, wall, lamp, underscore MSH for mesh. Alright, let's bring in the textures. So we want the color, the metallic, the normal, and the roughness. Start with the metal. So color, the metallic, the rough, and the normal. You can delete that one and hook these ones up. Let's apply and save. Now I want to reuse a glass shader I've already made that I'm using in the level in other spots, so let me just find it. Ito! It's good to see you, Ito. How are you? Hope you're well. It's good to see you though, Ito. Let's find this glass shader. I've got to remember where I put it. Where did I put my glass shader? Okay, I actually have a few different glass shaders. I've got a clean version, a dirty version. One is more accurate than the other. But the thing to be aware of with Unreal is the more complicated the shader, the worse for engine performance there is. So that's why I have two glass shaders. One is very complex and very realistic. One is less complex, but it's a faster compiling and running shader, so it doesn't slow the engine down quite so much. Ido says, I'm good. Good to hear. Ido says, I got another project from Magnetic, so life is good. Good to hear, Ido. You're raking the work in. Always good to hear when you guys are busy and getting paid, which is the important thing. Sniper Girl says to Kanu, hi. Sorry, just noticed you came in. Ido says, main squeeze, Sniper Girl. Sniper Girl says to Ido, nice, congrats. So yes, I have a couple of different glass shaders here. One is less complicated than the other. The less complicated one is not as accurate as the complicated one, but the complicated one slows the engine down quite a lot. Now, I don't know if you remember last year when I did the cinematic, you know how I have those really big chandeliers hanging upstairs in the ballroom? They use the complicated shader because they're large, they're a feature of the room, and the player can get relatively close to them because the chandelier is hanging sort of right next to where the player's head is. They can sort of walk right up near the chandelier, so I wanted a really accurate looking glass shader for that. Things like this light fitting where the player's not really going to be looking at it too closely, I'm going to use the less complicated one because it's going to be a faster shader for the engine to run. So, Ido says I need to make all I can. This PC will be like 3 to 3.5K. Yes, you're talking about the new AMD EPIC processors, aren't you, Ido? Which do look sweet, I have to say. So 3 to 3.5K sounds about right. Sniper Girl says, know how you feel. Are you looking at building a PC? Euro, it's good to see you, Euro. How are you? I hope you're well. Ido says, processor is 1300 and the graphics card is 1200. Isn't it funny how the graphics cards now are pretty much getting more expensive than the CPUs? Sniper Girl says, Euro, hi. So yes, I think for this I'm going to use just the simpler glass material, and I have a clean and a dirty version. I'm going to let's see what the dirty version looks like. I don't mind the dirty version. I mean, it gives the glass a little bit more interest. I'll throw the clean one on so we can compare it. The clean one is very clean. I think for interest's sake, we might go to the dirty one. It just makes the light look a bit more interesting. And it will also save me having to put a bulb in there so people, just reduces the amount of mesh I'm throwing in the level a little bit by not putting a bulb in there. So the dirty one helps to hide the fact there's no bulb in there. Euro says, I'm good, thanks. Sniper Girl says, not going to lie, I'm looking at investing about 4K into a PC build. You guys are dripping with money. Dripping with money. But it's an investment. That's how I think about it. Whenever I buy computer equipment, I use it for my work anyway, so it's an investment. Makes me feel better. Okay, that should be all we need for this light fitting. I have saved it. Yes, I have. Good. Actually, the other thing I want to do while I'm working is I want to start doing some lodding on these as we bring them in. So I'm going to see if we can do any reduction straight off the bat. A bit too much. Let's see if we take it to 50%. This is not lodding, this is just optimizing the mesh. Okay, we can take that to 50%. I can turn on custom lodding. And we can set the number of LODs to 3. Apply. And now as we pull back, I just want to check how far back we're getting before Unreal decides it wants to start lodding. Too far back, I think. Oh yes, no, it's fine. 3, 1. No, that'll be fine. So we'll save that. And let's move on to the next object. I'm just going to move these textures into a texture folder. Again, so we say nice and organized. Bathroom, that's the one we want. We can move the material into the materials folder for the bathroom. And we can delete this because we're not using it. We're using a glass shader. Undo history, that's fine. This is still saved to make sure because we don't want anything to happen. Edo says, what are you building, G's? You're getting a 2080 Titan? Euro says, remember, if you were going to build a workstation, you may not get great gaming performance out of them since they are built around server architecture. That's true. I know a lot of you, one or two of you guys want to buy Quadro cards as well. And it's the same thing. They're not meant as a gaming graphics card. They're meant for work. So if you're doing a lot of rendering, fine. If you want a game, you might want to think about getting something else. Particularly now that the Quadro cards, they used to be, NVIDIA used to restrict their usefulness if you didn't have one, like 30-bit color, for instance. NVIDIA have just made that available to the GeForce cards. Up until a few months ago, you had to buy a Quadro card to be able to work in 30-bit color. So just little things like that, and that was never a hardware restriction on the GeForce cards. It was always just NVIDIA's drivers, the way they wrote them. They restricted it. They wanted you to buy Quadro cards because they're more expensive if you wanted to work in 30-bit color. So that's not the case anymore. Having said that, the Quadro cards, depending on what you're doing for your work, are going to perform better than GeForce cards. They're not going to be good for gaming though. Not as good as a gaming card. Sniper Girl says, it's not that. My last computer I put in about that much and I still use it. Lasted me 10 years. Well, you guys know I was working with an Intel 2600K for many years. It's only recently upgraded to a new Intel machine. So CPUs, mind you, having said that, every couple of years I upgrade my graphics card anyway. But the CPU I don't tend to upgrade a lot because they don't change very much. Chris, hang on, let me... Certus Nyako? My apologies if I'm mispronouncing your name. Citrus Nyako, thank you for the follow. I do appreciate it. So thank you, Citrus. Thank you for the follow. Yes. Remember to join the Discord server if you haven't already. Don't post links in my Twitch chat unless you're a sub to my channel. You'll get timed out either by the moderators or by Nightbot, but everyone can post links on the Discord server. I've just popped a link to the Discord there. You can click that and join the Phil Does 3D Discord. There's a gallery where you can show up your work. There's a tutorials and tips section that the users have added to over the years that I've had my Discord server. You'll find a lot of interesting and useful tutorials and tips on a whole range of things. There's also a section where you can put links to your ArtStation or your portfolio. So, what do we say? Let me catch up with the chat here. Euro says it won't be bad, but won't be 9,000 FPS either. Sniper Girl says, Dorito, honestly not sure yet. Just want something I don't have to touch in a while. Edo says, I don't care for power alone. 2.5K should be enough. Unless you're getting a lot of RGB. Sniper Girl says, we'll be fine with not getting 9K FPS. Honestly, just want to build something that I don't have to touch. Legmog, it's good to see you, buddy. How are you? What you been up to, Legmog? What you doing? Hope everything's going well. Hope you enjoyed the weekend. Legmog says, I mean, to be honest, if you're playing anything other than Age of Empires 2, then you need to reevaluate how you spend your time. Hello to you too, Legmog. Sniper Girl says, hi. Euro says, yeah, understandable. Best bet is to get something solid in the CPU, motherboard, RAM department and expect update GPU every few years. That's the way to do it. You know, upgrade your CPU every 5 to 7 years, upgrade your GPU every couple of years. That's what I do anyway. And I find that generally works pretty well for me. And then you can use your old computer for something else. Like my old one now is my streaming machine. So you can always repurpose your old machine to do something else. You can turn it into a Kodi box. You can make it a Plex server. All sorts of different things. You make it, put Linux on it and turn it into a Linux machine. your old machine. So I agree with you, Euro. Edo says, don't hurt yourself, Phil. Legmark says, I'm good. It's like you're my female doppelganger to Sniper Girl. I too recently got a new PC. Yes, I remember you buying a new PC since my old PC was 10 years old and overdue for a new build. How is the new PC going, Legmark? Sniper Girl says, that's my goal, to be honest. Want to get great CPU and motherboard and a lot of RAM, get a decent video card that I can upgrade. That's the way to go. Because video cards are getting expensive now anyway. Sniper Girl says to Legmog, good to hear that you're doing well. Legmog says, good, thanks Phil. Finally on Operation Make My Pilot Scene Look Pretty. Finally sinking my teeth into Redshift, building lots of assets which will be seen in the background. Cool. Make sure you show us. We want to see. I want to see all the work you guys and girls are doing. That's why I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitch to encourage you guys to do 3D. I mean, Legmog needs no encouragement. I know a lot of you guys don't, because you love 3D anyway, but for all those new people, do 3D. It's fun. Sniper Echo, it's good to see you, Sniper Echo. I hope you're well, buddy. I hope you had a good weekend. You know I've got to say it. Legmog says hi to Sniper. Double act has appeared. That's right. Sniper Girl and Sniper Echo. Sniper Girl says to Legmog, definitely want to see what you're working on. Yes, we all do. Legmog says, oh, did you all get a chance to check out? Yes, we did. I showed it at the end of the stream last week, Legmog. All the facial expressions, your character that you posted on the Discord server. It's in the gallery if you guys want to look at it. But I did show it on stream at the end of the stream. That's what I generally like to do if you guys post new stuff in the gallery. I love to show it on stream, and I generally do it toward the end of the stream just before I sign off. And I showed it, and it looks very cool. You got a lot of really cool looking emotions happening with the eyes, Legmog. So you did a good job. As usual, you always do a good job. Edo says, ooh, Redshift. Sniper Echo says, enough about me, Phil. How are you, mate? I'm good. I'm busy as usual. But good. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I enjoy the Archviz studio, of course, but I'm enjoying working for the game studio, working on the game, because it's been a while since I've worked in games. So getting back into all of that is fun. I forgot why I worked in games to begin with, because it's a fun thing to do. And I really like the real-time aspect of game engines. That's the reason I got into games years ago before I went into Archviz and film. I really like real-time feedback, and games engines give you that. And now that they're getting so good, I like the Unreal Engine, the Unity engine. You can make really amazing-looking stuff with their engines now, and they're free. So you know that's even better. And remember, if you're using the Unreal Engine Quixel, you can download and use Quixel for free as long as you're using it in Unreal, because Epic Games purchased Quixel. So make sure you download and take advantage of their library as well. They do they've got a lot of textures and a lot of assets that are photogrammetry stuff, so good for realistic looking games. But I'm good, thanks for asking, Sniper Echo. Sniper Girl says to Legmog, yes, he showed them, they look amazing, they do. Sniper Echo says to Edo, hi. Sniper Girl says to me, put the golden toilet on the center of the pentagram. How would it has to be piped into something, I have to pipe it into the ground. And the pipes are meant to go into the wall. Now the bathtub will look good in the middle of the pentagram. Remember, I designed the bathtub so it could sit in the middle of the room as a standalone thing. That was always my intention. The toilet, I'm not sure actually the layout. We'll decide that in a minute when we start putting the assets in, but I think I'll put the toilet over here. We'll see how we go. Legmog says, what I love about GPU rendering is I can finally use transparency with refraction and have it blurred without killing the render times. It's kind of a new toy. And speaking of new toys and rendering real time, NVIDIA released new studio drivers yesterday or today, 441.28 I believe. I haven't installed them yet because I don't install drivers just before I'm ready to stream, just in case it breaks something, and I'm not suggesting it will. I'm just saying I err on the side of caution. But the new studio drivers, which are for V-Ray Next GPU rendering, they're supposed to improve that. So it'll improve all, because it takes advantage of the RTX into RTX cards now. So you can still use CUDA to do your rendering if you have an NVIDIA card, your real-time rendering. If you have an RTX NVIDIA card though, with the new drivers, you can turn on a new feature in V-Ray Real-Time Renderer, which takes advantage of the RTX cores. Now, I haven't tested it to see if it's faster or not, but yeah, that's the reason they released a new studio driver. So it is very cool to get real-time ray tracing, GPU accelerated real-time ray tracing. It's very cool, because we all know how slow actual ray tracing can be if you're doing it on the CPU. Sniper Girl says, want the person to sell a part of his soul every time he uses the restroom. That's a good idea, and I do like it, Sniper Girl, I do. But I don't think we'll do that. We could put a little pentagram underneath the toilet as well if we wanted to. That's something we can look at when we start setting the room up in a minute. But I do like the idea, Sniper Girl. Timmy Lordy, what do you think about Blender? It's good to see you, Timmy Lordy, and thank you, Timmy Lordy. My apologies for not seeing that you followed the channel. Thank you, Timmy, for following Phil Does 3D on my Twitch channel. I do appreciate it. I like Blender. Sniper Echo uses Blender. A few of the guys and girls that jump into my chat and are regulars on my Twitch channel use Blender. It's a very good program. Blender 2.8, of course, is coming out soon. The new driver NVIDIA just released that I was talking about, the studio driver, that's also for Blender 2.8. You can read about it on NVIDIA's website when they talk about the new driver, the new studio driver, but they released it for V-Ray and for Blender. And yes, I do like Blender. I use 3D Studio Max simply because that's what we use at the studio, the Archviz studio I work at. But I've heard good things about Blender, and I actually want to start playing with Blender myself. So Blender is good, and it's free, which makes it even better. Euro says, nice, I do love a shiny new driver. Euro runs off to install. Sniper Echo says to Euro, hey mate, missed your stream earlier. Euro Edo says, Blender? Oh, don't be cheeky, Edo. Blender is good. It is very good. And don't forget, Epic Games gave them $1 million as well, so Epic wouldn't have done that if they didn't think Blender was good. You sound like a mouthpiece for Epic Games, don't I, today? I promise I'm not. Sniper Girl says to Timmy Lordy says, Blender is okay, the UV editor in my opinion could be a lot better. Well, I think the UV editor in Max could be a lot better as well. That's why I use Ryzen UV to do my UV mapping. Euro says to Sniper Echo, hey dude, was just some pew in Battlefield 1, nothing special. I didn't realise you streamed this morning, Euro. I have to check you out as well. Sniper Echo says to Sniper Girl, does this even qualify as a UV editor? Sniper Girl says, was being polite. Oh, you guys are cruel. Let's import another asset. So we have that wall lamp. I want to bring in the vanity wall light. The complete one, which is this one here. Okay, so this is why I left Max open. You see, it has brought my wall light in at an angle, and that's not the angle I want. We could use it like this, but it's not. It's a bit messy, so I'm going to jump into Max. Make sure we did save this, and I'm going to open the vanity wall light. This one here is the one I want. You see it's up the right way here, but what's happened is I need to do a reset on the X-form. And that should fix our orientation problem. Let's just re-export it. Vanity wall light complete. See, normally when I work on my own, I have both programs open, but I have one on one screen and one on my second screen. I can't do that obviously when I stream because you can't see my second screen. Let's just re-import this model. Now our light is up the right way. Let's find out which one's which. That is that one, that's the glass. So material 1 is the glass. Material 0 is the light. So this is vanity light matte. Let us import the textures for that. So we want the color, the metallic, the normal, and the rough. Let's pull them into the shader. Sniper Girl says, like I said, a friend of mine did a month in Blender, 15 years of experience in the industry, and the UV editor was the reason he switched back to Maya. So, look, Max's UV editor is not great either. It's not terrible, but it's not as good as some. And I do my UV mapping in Rhizome UV, so you're never going to find a UV editor that's perfect. No program has a perfect UV editor. Just going to make sure that is the roughness. Yes, good. There's always going to be something in one 3D program in the UV editor that the other one doesn't have that you like. Where is it? There it is. Just want to zoom in here so we can add our glass shader to this one as well. We're going to use the same dirty glass shader for this. Again, for the reason that I want to sort of obscure the fact that there is no bulb inside of this light fitting. And that should be good. Let's just move our textures to our textures folder. Let's move our material to our materials folder. And let's just rename our mesh vanity light underscore MSH for mesh. And we can delete this unused shader. And let's do a save again. I always like to do it because I turn quick save off. Hang on, what's this? Let me go back up here. I've missed my chat. Edo says, you mortals know not the power of ZBrush. Sniper Girl says, use ZBrush when I need to. Sniper Echo says, looks like Phil swapped from pushing Pixelogic to Epic Games products. Because you guys all know how much I love Pixelogic and ZBrush, and I push it at every opportunity I get. Because that interface is just so wonderful in ZBrush. No, I promise I'm not being paid by Epic Games to push their stuff. I'm not. I would tell you if I was, but I'm not. Sniper Echo says to Sniper Girl, I use some plugins for the UV mapping or use Rhizome UV. It's hard to beat a specialized tool. That's true. Sniper Girl says, does anyone know when Mixer 2020 is coming out? Yeah, I'd like to know too, now that I'm starting to play with Mixer, Quixel Mixer. Because it needs some improvement. I can't give up Substance Painter for Mixer yet because Painter is still better than Mixer at the moment. But Mixer's free. Sniper, and you've got to pay a subscription for bloody Painter now. And that's just Windows telling me about you guys following my channel. Sniper Echo says, the one big thing letting Blender down is the UV mapping features. Sniper Girl says, I use Nightshade UV in Maya. I like the layout a lot better than the actual UV editor in Maya. It's the same with Max. If you're a Max user and you don't like the default editor, you can actually install scripts to change all of that as well. But I just like to use Rhizome UV. It does a really good job. I love Rhizome. It's a great program. Because I hate UV mapping. I hate it. Really, really necessary part of 3D modeling, but man, do I hate doing it. Sniper Girl says, just find that it has less buttons and menus to go through. Sniper Echo says, they're there and work fine, but just pretty, they're there, but they work fine, they're just pretty basic. Euro says, I still use 3D Studio Max with Poly Unwrapper paid and text tools free for UVs. There you go, 2 scripts that you can install in Max. And Sniper Girl says, granted, Maya has good, solid, UV editor, just don't like going through a ton of tabs that I have to keep on expanding. Never heard of that one. Sniper Echo says, Legmog says, my theory on the 3D programs, if they were kids at an American high school, Max and Maya would be like the top dog sports jocks who are quarterback in the football team but are kind of egotistical, obnoxious jerks. And Blender is like that insufferable dude who must prove he's cool at all costs and is constantly sucking up to Max and Maya. I love your analogies, Legmog. I love them. Legmog says, and Cinema 4D is the cool silent kid who has nothing to prove. And he says that because he uses Cinema 4D. So I don't know if I completely agree with Legmog there. I don't know about that. But I do like the analogy, Legmog. Cinema 4D is a great program too, don't get me wrong. They're all good. Look, I've said to you guys, it annoys me a bit when people get all defensive about what 3D program they use. Don't get defensive. Use whatever you like and use as many as you want. You know, don't say this is better than this or this is better than this. It's whatever you like to use, whatever you find best. Whatever that is. And then, you know, if that's Cinema 4D or if that's Blender or if that's Max or if that's Maya or if that's whatever. As long as you like to use it, that's all that matters. Because they're all pretty much the same, okay? They all do the same thing. Pretty much. Sniper Girl says, I have Maya 2017 on my PC, so it still works. Mr. Squarepeg says, Mixer 2020 comes out in a few weeks. Cool. I'll keep an eye out for it because I do like Mixer. It's just, it needs some more features to make it comparable to Substance Painter. But now that, you know, I have access to all of the Mixer library, the Quixel library, I do want to start looking at using Mixer a lot more, particularly for this game. Legmog says, I'm just going to go out for a jog around my neighbourhood while Phil catches up. I don't know. I can't do two things at once. Sniper Echo says, Mixer looks cool, but I don't regret dumping Substance Painter for texturing in Blender. You should check out Mixer though, Sniper. It's free. Now that Epic Games have bought it. Mr. Squarepeg says, same with Bridge 2020. Bridge is the other program that Quixel create, which is what you download all of this stuff from the Megascans library to. Euro says, I saw a video about edit poly performance in different suites earlier. After watching that, Max is still king. Yeah, I like Max. Max is my baby. I love Max. Sniper Girl says, honestly, if the studio allows it and Mixer 2020 works as advertised, I might do most of the materials in it. I have Quixel's subscription. You should. It does look very cool. I haven't played with Quixel stuff very much either, but I'm going to start doing that now that I have access to their library, their entire library. And you do too. Everybody does for free, as long as you're using it in UE4. Unless you've got a subscription, like Sniper Girl. Sniper Echo says, to Euro, I saw that. It was a decent comparison. Euro says, yeah. Edo says, let me tell you of thy Lord ZBrush. Really, Edo? Really? ZBrush, really? Oh, man. Edo says, the savior. Sniper Girl says, but Maya is one true goddess, respect her. Sniper Echo says to Edo, that will set me off. Sniper Echo knows me too well. Don't set me off. Don't set me off with ZBrush. Don't do it. You don't want to hear a tirade. I haven't given one of my ZBrush tirades in quite a while and I'm overdue for one. So don't set me off. Sniper Girl says to Edo, laugh out loud, so ZBrush is your Lord and Savior. It's the New World Order. Edo says, Euro says, all saviors still pray to the mighty cube. That's exactly right. Sniper Girl says, yeah, true. Worship the almighty cube, that's right. People think they're sculpting in Blender, Edo says. Sniper Girl says, love the Phil does just look, I know. If I do my work and ignore my chat, you guys bitch that I'm not reading my chat. If I read my chat and don't do my work, you guys bitch that all I do is chat. I can't win. I just can't win with you guys. I'm not as clever as like all the other streamers that can continue what they're doing and read their chat at the same time. Having said that, most of them only play games, so you know, I got to concentrate a bit more when I'm working. That's my excuse anyway. So the Sniper Echo says, all jokes aside, hang on, my voice is going. Sniper Echo says, all jokes aside, has the user interface in ZBrush changed any in the last 2 years? No, not that I can see. Euro says, the Sniper, I don't know, I see lots of buttons everywhere. Sniper Girl says, you know me, got to give you a hard time. No, you got to give me a hard time. You haven't mentioned Noah for a while. Come on. Bring on the Noah jokes. Phil and Noah were best friends, all that. Come on. I'm waiting for it. Sniper Echo says, to Euro, me too. People said Blender's user interface was busy, but it was never on that level. I actually like Blender's user interface. I think it's nice and clean. So it looks good. Sniper Girl says to Sniper Echo, yes, they added the same buttons everywhere. I just guess in ZBrush, at least they have different buttons. Okay, so what am I doing? Actually, I want to show you guys I'm just going to stop doing this for a minute. I'm going to come back to it, don't worry. But I've been creating a story intro for the game that I've been creating in After Effects. So I think I'll show you guys that, because why not? We're all talking about doing our own work and showing off our own work. I think I'll show you guys something, and you'll get a sneak peek because it's not available online. No one else has seen it apart from the guys that work in the game studio with me. So I just got the audio back from the composer. It's just an ambient audio track that goes along with the video I created in After Effects. I don't know if you guys know, but I'm working with a French composer. He's ex-Ubisoft. He's doing all of the music and the audio for the game. So I think I'll play that for you guys now. It's not very long. It only goes for 1 minute 30 seconds. It's the intro story for the game. So basically, when you start a new game, this is the video that will play before you actually jump into the game itself. Where did I put it? It will go on social media eventually. It just hasn't. I haven't uploaded it to social media yet. We're working out how we want to market the game, because you guys saw that I created the that graphic for the book as well. Where did I put that? I showed you that last week. I've got so many folders everywhere. It's hard for me to remember where I put stuff. It was here. So I showed you guys this where I created the graphic to promote the Magus, which is the book in the game. I do want to show you now though, like I said, the actual story cinematic. It's just what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause my microphone while I play it so you don't get feedback through my mic on the audio. So I won't be talking because my mic will be muted until the video finishes, alright? Sniper Girl says, well, yeah, we all know you're down with Noah. You mentioned you were cool with Adam as well. Yeah, that's right. Adam and I were like this. In fact, Noah got jealous because I was closer to Adam than I was to Noah. Edo says, Blender does everything backwards. Sniper Echo says to Euro, the sad thing for me is I prefer the layout of Blender 279. I got used to having everything in one tab. Sniper says, the new user interface is too clean for me. You can never have too clean an interface. Euro says, I could never work old Blender, literally only have installed it in case someone sends me a Blender file. Sniper Echo says that was what the Mac's installed for, the 8 gig file converter. And Sniper Girl says, you're sure you weren't closer to Eve than to Adam? Got jealous. Alright, I'm going to play the video. It goes for 1.5 minutes. I'm going to mute my mic and so you won't hear me, I won't be talking. Here we go. And there we have it. So I just wanted to give you guys a sneak peek before anybody else, because you guys are special. You watch my channel, so why not? So yeah, that's the video that will play when you start a new game in the game. So thank you, Euro. I'm glad you like it, guys. Again, I didn't do the audio. I did the After Effects work for the video, and this composer friend in France, ex-Ubisoft guy, did the audio. So, and he did a good job on the audio. I'm glad you guys like it. So anyway, let's continue on with the building. Otherwise, we won't have a game to play to begin with. So no, there'll be no point having the video if the actual building isn't finished. So what do I need to bring in? I need to bring in the glass shelf, and I think that's probably it. Then we can start putting this room together. So let's import the glass shelf. Glass shelf. What did I call it? I think I just called it glass shelf, didn't I? Perfume bottle, shelf, brackets, yes. Alrighty. Let's just rename material 2 to glass shelf. Let's make sure glass shelf is renamed underscore mesh or MSH. I muted my mic. Yes, good. I've done it before. I've muted my mic and forgot to unmute it. And you guys don't tell me. Let's bring in the textures for the glass shelf. I'll just open that material. Glass shelf. We've already got the colors, so we need the metallic, the normal, and the roughness. That is the metallic. Good. And we just need to assign glass to the glass shelf. Now again, I do have those two glass materials, but I'm just going to use not the completely accurate glass one, but the other one. But we'll use the clean version of it, so this one here. We won't make the shelf dirty. I like that comment, we're going to need the toilet, Sniper Echo. Hang on, what's this? Sniper Girl says you mean Phil is doing work? That's right. Sniper Girl dies from shock. Sniper Echo says, I haven't tried the new rigging and animation setup in Blender. I always liked Maya for that. Euro says, I like Max for that. I like Max for rigging as well. Euro says, here we go again comparing suites. Okay, so the shelf is done. Let's bring in the perfume bottles. Just before I do that, let us move these around. So we want to put the glass shelf material to the materials. Move the textures to the textures. And remove this unused material. Let's import the perfume bottle, so perfume bottle 1. Okay, so again with the glass material, let's just assign the clean glass that we used just before. And for the actual perfume itself, we could leave it just a plain yellow color like that, but I actually do have a material that I'm using for the whiskey and cognac and all that sort of stuff. For those bottles, we probably can get away with using one of those. The wine bottles, that sort of thing, if I can find them. Cognac is that one. Sherry, rum. The whiskey one, which is like a yellowish colour. We could probably use that. And the reason I want to do that is because we get the nice see-through happening. Transparency, that's the word I want. Transparency. And perfume can be a yellowish colour. So. Euro Sniper says Zero, never tried Max to be honest. Rigging in Blender, Edo says. Edo says Blender does not exist in my universe. Let's just save that perfume bottle, jump back into our bathroom. Rename the mesh _mesh. And we can delete these two shaders because we're not using them. Let's import the second perfume bottle. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up the first perfume bottle and the second perfume bottle, and we're just going to copy the shaders across. So let's do this one first. Save it. I do want to do just a little lighting on these as well. So let's turn on custom lotting and go to 3 lot levels. Again, I just want to double check my auto lotting here is working the way I want it to. Good. Let's do this one as well. Into 3 lot levels. Save it. Did I forget to do? I think I forgot to load the shelf here though, so let's just do that really quick as well. Because we do want to make sure everything is loaded. That's good. Okay, I loaded the lights. Didn't I? I did load them, didn't I? No, I didn't load this one. Okay. Very remiss of me. It's just easier if you do it as you import them. That way you don't have to go through all your assets after you've imported like 50 different models and do the loading. So, custom load to 3 lot levels. Good. Sniper Girl says, Dorito, you mean you have no blenders at all? How do you make shakes and smoothies? Sniper Girl says, you mean the 3D modeling program? Ah. Euro says, man, people these days are spoiled with auto-lodding. Used to have to do all that by hand. I know. I love the auto-lod tool inside of UE4. It's a godsend. It's a godsend because lodding is painful. Doing it by hand is painful. Let's delete these 2 unused shaders. Make sure we save everything. Not just the lodding, but just the poly reduction tools as well built into UE4 are amazing. And it's all non-destructive. So if you don't like the result, you can go back to the way it was. That's what I love about the way they've built it into this engine. You know, it's all non-destructive stuff. I love non-destructive. It's just amazing. I love it. Love it. Sniper Echo says to Euro, nothing like custom tools for an armor series. Auto lodding is nice, Sniper Girl says. God, wonder if I'll need to make LODs at the studio. I don't know. Guess you'll find out. I guess you will too. Euro says to Sniper Echo, yeah, but I mean, if you can understand how to create LODs without destroying your UVs, then you have knowledge 100. Sniper Echo says, yeah, it took me a bit to figure that out. One of the best things I learned. You can do that in Max too with one of the modifiers. The Pro Optimizer modifier will do a poly reduction without destroying your UVs. Okay, so I've got to bring in the walls now. We've got one of the walls in. We need to bring in the rest of them. I think that's the only thing left to bring in now are the walls. Bathtub, pillar lamp, glass shelf, toilet, vanity units, wall light. Yep, just the walls. So we've got the left wall, I believe. So let me check. Yeah, we've got the left wall mesh already brought in. Let's bring the back wall in. And let's set up our shader. Looks like I didn't assign a material to it, so I'm just going to have to create a new material. And we're calling it back bath back wall. Underscore map. Let's import our textures. This metallic texture, I believe it's just black. Yeah, it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a constant for that. No point using texture memory for something that has no texture. And let's assign it to the model. That should be good. I'm not going to do any lodding on these walls because they're not very high poly to begin with. They're very, very low polygon. I don't think lodding is really necessary. We could always do it later, but I don't think it's going to need, these walls are going to need lodding. Okay, let's move these to the textures folder. And move this to the materials folder. And import the next wall. Edo says to Sniper Girl, what are you getting me for my birthday? When's your birthday, Edo? When is this birthday? Bath ceiling front is the next one we want. Okay, this is the runner. And the runner, unfortunately, needs to have a reset done on the X form. So let me jump back into Max again. Let's do a save on that. Let's open up this. We just need to reset the X form on the runner. Collapse that stack. And re-export it. Where is it? What is it called? Ceiling front runner. This one here. Let's re-import it into Unreal. Good. Textures, let's import the texture. Actually, we've got to create a new material for it. And bath ceiling front runner. Front runner, color metallic, normal, and raw. We're probably going to find that all of the metallics for these are just going to be straight black. So again, we'll just set up a constant, get rid of that metallic. And assign our texture. Okay. Euro says, Edo said, what are you getting me for my birthday? Euro says, a copy of Blender. Sniper Girl says the Euro wasn't supposed to tell Edo that. Edo says, the hell would I do with Blender? Euro says, up some hard drive space. Sniper Echo says, I'm getting you some fruit for that Blender, Edo. Sniper Girl says to Edo, when's your birthday? Yes, when is your birthday? Edo says, December 9th. Wow, you're nearly a Christmas baby. Almost a Christmas baby. Almost. Edo says, but I will learn Blender eventually. Sniper Girl says, do you want 2 copies of Blender? Edo says, I want to do the normal modifying that Guilty Gear does. And I see Edo has posted something in the general chat on the Discord server, a video. Not sure what that is. He only says, edit poly performance video I mentioned on Twitch for anyone interested. Jump on the Discord server, guys and girls, if you want to see it. Edo says, but I will learn Blender eventually. Sniper Echo says to Edo, nah, I don't think Blender is ready for your work yet, to be honest. Let's keep importing our pieces for our bathroom. Okay, corner join, which are the joins we're going to be using on the center pieces along the wall. Did I texture that up? I think I did. We'll find out. Let's create a new material. I think I textured it up. Let's import and see. Yes, corner joint. There we go. I should stop importing the metallic texture, shouldn't I? Because they are all going to be black. And let's assign that to our model. Going to delete that because we don't actually need it. It's no big deal having it in the engine, because even when I go to compile the game level, it doesn't use any materials that we don't use in the actual game. So leaving it there is not a big deal, but we're not using it, so we may as well delete it. Okay, that was the corner join. The front wall, I don't think we've got the front wall, have we? Pretty sure we don't. No. New material. Bath. Front wall. I'm not going to bring the metallic in because I'm not going to be using it. Okay, let's assign the texture. Save it. I think we've almost got all the wall pieces, only a couple left to bring in. Edo says, I don't care what it is, but when I see Blender sculpt, they just don't look great. Choco Minty, thank you for following the channel Choco Minty. I love the username and I do appreciate the follow, Choco Minty, so thank you. Again, guys and girls, if you're new to my channel and you want to know more about me, you can go to phildoes3d.com. You can look at my gallery. There's links to my social media, my YouTube, my Twitter, all that sort of stuff. Or you can join the Discord server, the phildoes3d Discord server, using the link I just popped into chat. If you want, you don't have to. So what do we got left to import here? Front wall, left wall is already in there. We need the window bottom. So this is going to be bath, window, bottom, matte. Let's import the textures. Color, normal and rough. Yeah, again, metallic looks black, so that's fine. Apply and save. Let's assign the shader. Good. Again, you see why I'm not loading these, because it's only got 20 triangles. I mean, there's nothing to this model at all. Really not worth loading. Okay. Window side. Apply and save that. Wonder where Smurfberry Barbecue is today. He ain't here. Where's Smurf? Sniper Erica says to Ida, even performance of the sculpt tool doesn't seem great. People swear by it, but I can't figure out how they do it in Blender. Choco Minty, it's good to see you, Choco Minty. And again, thank you for the follow. Euro says he's lurking. That's okay. I don't mind if you guys lurk. I'll never call out lurkers. I mean, if you just want to watch and not chat, that's fine. I get that. A lot of times I watch streamers and I don't want to talk and chat. I just want to watch. Did we bring the window top in? I don't think we did. No. I think window top is the last bit of the windows we need. Let's create a new material. Bath, window, top. And we want the color, normal and rough. Choco Minty says I play streams in the background always, so I'm a lurker. Yeah, look, I know a lot of people do that as well. Like they'll be doing work or on their computer and they'll have a stream going in the background. I do that actually, so I get it. And I do appreciate it you guys being watching anyway. Whether you're watching or not, I appreciate you guys having the stream up. Let's save that. Load up and assign our material. Move them into the correct folders because that's important for organization. Trust me, it might look like a pain to have to do this, but if you're working on a game level and you start to amass a lot of assets, if you have them all in one folder, it's going to be a nightmare to try and find anything. Let's do a quick save. And I think we might have everything in that we need. Now I'm just going to, you see that the thumbnail here for this asset doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to go into edit thumbnail mode so that I can turn this around to get a better view of what the actual asset is. I might do the same with this one here, and this one here, this one here. They should be okay. Alrighty, let's start putting this bathroom together. Let's start with the wall. So bath left wall. So I know when I designed it, if we're facing this way, that's the left wall. Let's just rotate it around. Now I do have to scale it because I scaled the original building. Let's try scaling it to 1.76 and see how we go. This is guessing, so you may have to make some adjustments. Let's move it back to the wall. Line it up. Looks like I might be a bit short. Either that or I've got it up too high. Okay, it looks like it might need to be scaled just a little bit more. Let's try 1.8. So I think 1.8 is still not enough. Let's try 2. 2 might be too much. 1.9. Android Lust, it's good to see you, Android Lust. How are you, buddy? Drop it in to say hi. I'm lagging at, oh no, at 160p. Oh man, your internet must be real potato. You're lagging at 160p. That's not good. But it's good to see you, Android Lust. Edo says I need to learn to UV better. Edo says my UVs are pretty good. Edo says I need to UV better. Then Edo says my UVs are pretty good. Sniper Girl says, oh, Edo says, but I need to become a god. Sniper Girl says to Android Lust, hi, and Android Lust, wow, that sucks. That does suck, Android Lust. I'm sorry to hear it's 160. You're lagging at 160. Do remember too, guys, if you use the mobile app on your phone or on the tablet, and your internet is really, really potato that you can't watch in 160p, you can always turn on audio only mode. I mean, it's not as fun because you don't get the videos, but you can hear me rabbiting on in the background still. Because Phil does nothing but talk constantly. I actually think this might be a little bit too big. I'm just going to knock it back to 180.85. Yes, but audio mode is only available on the mobile apps, so on the phone or on the tablet. Android Lust says, I did stop buffering at 160 so far. Well, that's good to hear. Thank God we have transcoding. Otherwise, because I stream at 1080p, and if I streamed, if you could only watch at that, then a lot of people would have a problem, I think. Because Twitch can be temperamental at the best of times, even with a good connection. So forcing people to watch in 1080p. So I'm thankful Twitch give me transcoding. Very grateful. I might just pull back. We'll leave it at 1.85 for the moment, but I might just make an adjustment to the height in a minute. But let's get a few more bits and pieces into the bathroom. Let's make sure we are right up against the back wall. Edo says, watch a stream for producing assets, but only hear the assets being made. Well, no, you get to hear my voice, and you guys know I never shut up, so, I'm a real motor mouth. And I read the chat. So, if you can't watch and you can't see the chat, then I generally read the chat as well. Edo says, Phil does ASMR. Android Lost says, I'm peachy besides the lag. Edo says, ASMR game dev, all you hear is keyboard and mouse. No, I don't get that ASMR thing. I don't watch people that do that. I just don't get that. I don't know why people like that. Hey, to each their own, but I don't get it. Sniper Girl says, I can't watch a 1080p stream. Now, a lot of people can't. I know. I mean, I stream in 1080p 60 frames a second just for those people that can, if they want to watch in 1080p. But because I get transcoding, you guys know you can go all the way down to 160p. Just depending on what speed of your internet you're watching me on. Or mobile if it's mobile. ASMR game dev, Android Lust says, Sniper Girl says, to Android Lust, glad everything else is, I'm glad too. I'm glad everything else is good for you, Android Lust, apart from your internet. Euro says, I can and live on a rock in the oceans. Android Lust says to Rito, let's see those UVs. Edo says, I can't show you. No. Can't show us, hey? But I'll bring up personal project and I'll show those later. Okay, let's bring in the next wall section, which will be the back wall, which will be this wall here. Let's rotate it around. And we're scaling it to 1.85, I believe. Again, it was created to scale for the building in Max. But when I brought the building into Unreal, I decided I was going to scale the building up. So that's why we have to scale these up now. Just to be clear. It was originally scaled correctly, but I rescaled the building, so. Choco Minty says, I didn't get ASMR until I got my latest headphones. The 3D sound is so good in it. I still don't get ASMR. I don't want to hear people whispering into a microphone or whatever they do on ASMR, or, you know, scratching the mic or whatever the hell they do. I just don't get I don't get it. Look, I'm happy if people like it, but I don't get it. Let's do, okay. So the right wall, we're going to do a copy of the left wall because it's the same size. Let's just rotate it around 180 degrees. Actually, make sure we move it up against the wall. I have to make sure that that other piece I just put in is up against the wall as well. And this piece here. Don't do that. Okay, that's good. Let's get this one into position. Android Lost says, the funny thing about ASMR streams is that the streamers have mics with ears on them. I never watched an ASMR stream. Choco Minty says to Android Lost, that's to simulate areas so you hear stuff from these mics like you would in real world. Android Lost says, does it really work like that? Android Lost says, maybe I'll have to check it out myself, for science of course. Euro says, I got enough voices in my head without listening to extras. Euro. Choco Minty says, with good headphones, yes, wherever the sound is coming from compared to the mic, it will be the same in your ears. Choco Minty says, but yeah, more natural ASMR like wind or forest sounds, it's super calming. That I get, like listening to the wind, listening to forest sounds, or that sort of thing I get. I know, yeah, but people that whisper into the microphone or that, you know, that claw at the microphone or I don't know, that sort of stuff I don't get. Ambient sounds though, yep, I get that. So I think all that's left here is we need to do the side wall. Let's put that one in, which will be this one here. We need to rotate it around 90 degrees. Scale it up by 1.85. Let's move it over. Hang on, I think that's not the right side. That's from this side here. You can't see it because it's behind the curtain, I believe. Yeah. So that's actually not meant for this side of the wall. It's meant for this side over here. We have a different piece for the other side. Let me line this up correctly. Okay, then we want think it's this one here, the front wall. I haven't used that, have I? No, I've got the two sides, the back. Yeah, it'll be this one here. Will it be this one? Yeah, no, it's got to be this one. Just seems big for some reason. Android Lost says, I would say I have decent headphones, but honestly I don't think I'd find ASMR streams entertaining. I may as well just listen to music. Edo says, I mean, I'm down to hear whispers of the Undead Legion. You hear those anyway, don't you, Edo? Sniper Girl says, I still can't do ASMR. Euro says, I listen to instrument and ambient music at low volume. When I need to sleep, it helps with insomnia. And Euro says, but I doubt I could sleep with ASMR with some whispering. No, I couldn't either. That'd freak me out. Listening to someone whisper. Oh no, that would be creepy. Creepy! I just need to get into a position here where I can see how far over I need to take this asset. To the window, to the wall. Sounds like a song, doesn't it? To the window, to the wall. I'm not going to sing the other words because they're dirty. Andrew Doss says, Euro, I listen to that while I do 3D, and Euro Edo says that's very much a song. I know it is. I know the words to it too, but I'm not going to sing it because it's dirty. I'm sort of sneaking in here. I'm just making some small adjustments to the size here. But I just need to make sure that it doesn't go into the next room, so that's what I'm sort of checking. Okay, I think there's only two pieces left, and that's down here and above the window. So, actually, did I make an error there? I think I might have. Yeah, no. It's difficult for me to see what's going on. I'm just going to turn unlit mode on briefly so I can see what is going on here. Okay. Okay, I need to bring this right over to the edge of the window here. I thought there was something strange with my scaling as to why I had to bring it down so much. Let's go back to the way it was. Pull it all the way over to the edge of the window. That's good. Now we can do the bit below the window, which will be this one. See if I can get him to position here where I can line them up. Pull this one back a little bit. Actually, we'll pull these forward a little bit. Which means we have to pull this one forward a little bit. And the last piece above the window, which will be... Where is it? Am I going blind? I can't see it. I did bring it in, didn't I? That's the window bottom, window side, window top. Oh, it'll be this piece here. Android Lost says to Euro, I listen to that while I do 3D. Edo says that's very much a song. Android Lost says, Edo says this substance file takes so long to save. Where's my song? I'm just wondering why the scale on this does not look correct. The actual pattern here, this is much smaller. Why would that be? It's obviously a problem with when I textured it up in Substance Painter. I've added the wrong scale on this, so what I might need to do is jump back into Substance Painter and resave that asset, I think. Yeah, let's just do that real quick. It was good that we could reuse the smart materials on all the different assets, but it looks like I have to rescale that piece, so let me just have a look. And it's the window bottom, window side, window top. Going to find which one it is. Sniper Girl says G2G, take care of some things. I can't read that, Sniper Girl. Bye and bye, Jack. No problem, Sniper Girl. Thanks for being here. I'll be back on again tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you then. You have a good night, Sniper Girl. Good day, whatever time it is. Yeah, so let's just scale this up a little bit. Let me just sort of try and get an idea of the size it needs to be. Okay. Let's try exporting the textures for this one. Should already be in the right folder. Then we can jump back into Unreal. I'm just going to open that up, so that we can find these textures so that I can re-import them. And that's better. Okay, let's turn lit mode back on. We're not going to get a true indication until we do a rebuild on the lighting though. But I think that's our walls in. Again, we're going to get some nice reflection happening for ray tracing. The game is going to, if you don't have an RTX card, the game will use screen space reflection, so you're still going to get reflection. But if you have RTX card, then you'll get real-time ray trace reflection, which is not turned on here. I can't show it live on stream because contractually I'm not allowed to. I know that for a fact. So you won't see real-time ray tracing turned on while I'm working in the level for the game, unfortunately. And that's using screen space reflection, so you still get reflection. But let's do a quick save here. We can jump back into our bathroom. But I think we might leave it there for today, guys and girls. I do want to thank you all very much though for hanging out with me and for watching. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. We'll pick up where we left off and continue putting our bathroom together for the House in the Hollow game. Yeah, so we got all our assets imported. All we have to do is start putting them together and designing our bathroom. You're quite welcome, Choco Minty. Again, thank you for the follow. So thanks, Choco Minty, Timmy Lordy, Sertrus Yako for following me on Twitch. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys being here, hanging out with me and for watching. Again, I'll be back on tomorrow, 5 p.m. Pacific time in the United States. You guys and girls take care and have a good night, a good day, whatever time it is, wherever you are. See you guys.